This story begins with an orphan girl named Pill, who lives in the city of Rock and Broom with her 3 little pet weasels. After the king's death, the kingdom is being controlled by a cruel commander named Tristane, because the king's son, Prince Roland, was still too young to rule. But now Roland has grown up, and very soon he is supposed to be crowned king. Since Pill is an orphan, she survives by stealing food from the houses in the city. Her 3 tiny companions always help her. A palace guard is constantly trying to catch her, because he believes she is some kind of strange magical creature. But every time he tries, she escapes. Pill has always wanted to play with the other children in the city, but their parents never allow it, because everyone looks down on her. At the same time, Tristane is worried, because on Prince Roland's next birthday, Roland will officially become king. Tristane does not want to lose his power, so he makes a plan to kill him. Soon the day of the prince's birthday celebration arrives. People from all over the city bring gifts and delicious food for Roland. Pill disguises herself by changing her voice and sneaks into the palace so she can eat. A grand ceremony is taking place, and a boy performer has also arrived there with his uncle to entertain the guests. Unfortunately, no one ever laughs at his jokes, and his uncle keeps telling him to perform better. At the palace, Pill meets Prince Roland. For the first time, someone laughs at the performer's jokes, and that makes the boy happy. Roland is excited because he is about to become king. He reveals that his father had hidden a treasure somewhere inside the palace. Pill secretly overhears this conversation. A little later, Tristane takes Roland away, saying he needs to speak with him privately. Pill sees this, and the guard also spots her and starts chasing her. While trying to escape, Pill ends up following them into a tower filled with strange chemicals and magical objects. There she notices a picture of Tristane with an old witch, which suggests there is more to his story than people know. Then Tristane betrays Roland and forces him to drink a poison he created. He reveals his dark secret. He learned magic from his grandmother, poisoned the king out of greed, and then blamed his own grandmother for the crime. Since then, the old woman had been forced to hide away in the forest. But instead of killing Roland, the poison turns him into a strange half-cat, half-chicken creature. Tristane is shocked that the prince did not die. When the guard arrives, Tristane lies and says Pill used magic on the prince. Then he begins chasing Pill again. Pill escapes into the palace and finds the transformed Roland. She tells him that she can help him, but in return, she wants the hidden royal treasure. Roland agrees. To avoid being recognized, Pill disguises herself in a princess dress, and the guard fails to identify her. Meanwhile, the celebration in the palace continues, and the performer is still boring everyone with his act. Pill asks the performer boy for help saving Roland. With the help of her 3 little companions, she manages to rescue the prince and escape from the palace. The old servant and the performer boy go along with them. Pill decides that the only way to turn Roland back into a human is to find the old witch in the forest. Because Pill is dressed like a princess, people on the road treat her with great respect, and Pill enjoys that feeling. At night, while they rest, the performer gives her a small wooden toy as a gift. Soon they reach the forest and begin searching for the witch. They find mysterious footprints, but then the trail suddenly disappears, as if whoever made them simply flew away. A moment later, the witch appears on her broomstick. At first she tells them to go away, but Pill follows her to her cave and tells her that she knows the witch did not poison the king. Pill says she knows Tristane was the real criminal. Hearing this, the witch agrees to help save the prince. However, she says she needs a unicorn feather to prepare the antidote, and that can only be found in the snowy mountains. So Pill and her friends set out to find one. In the mountains, they meet a shepherd. When they ask him where to find a unicorn, he laughs at them and says such a creature does not exist. But Pill notices something glowing and realizes it is unicorn droppings, which means a unicorn really is nearby. Soon, strange magical events begin. The shepherd transforms into a unicorn-like creature and starts chasing them. After a dangerous struggle, the group barely manages to escape. They return to the witch, who uses the magical ingredient to prepare the antidote. Roland drinks it and finally turns back into a human. Now Pill wants to tell the truth to the guard who has been traveling with them. She admits that she is not a princess at all. She is the same orphan girl he had always been trying to catch. The guard becomes angry because she lied to him, and he storms away. But before anything can be settled, Tristane arrives with many soldiers. His men set the forest on fire and burn the witch's cave. Tristane fires an arrow at the guard, but Pill jumps in the way and is struck instead. She falls, and Roland is thrown off a bridge. Tristane captures the others and returns to the city, where he tells everyone that Roland has been killed by Pill and the witch. Pill's 3 little companions rush to help her, and she survives because the arrow struck the wooden toy the performer had given her. When she looks down, she sees that Roland is still alive hanging below the bridge. Using the witch's broomstick, she helps save him, and together they head back to the city to rescue their friends and expose Tristane. Once they arrive, Pill tells the people the truth. Tristane murdered the king and also tried to kill Prince Roland. Roland appears alive, confirming everything. Pill apologizes to the guard, and he forgives her. Then, Pill, her friends, Roland, and the witch join forces to protect the city from Tristane and his soldiers. The witch helps them in battle, while Tristane uses another potion to transform his pet dog into a giant beast. Roland and the citizens fight the monster together. During the chaos, Tristane captures Pill and attacks her again. The witch tries to bring the antidote, but Tristane knocks her down. Just then, Pill's 3 little companions arrive carrying the antidote. In the confusion, Pill gets an idea and puts the antidote onto a piece of meat, which the giant beast eats. Immediately, it changes back to its normal form. As this happens, the large statue they are standing on begins to collapse. The guard quickly saves Pill by placing her in a safe hollow of the statue, while he falls away himself. The entire structure breaks apart, Tristane's army flees, and the battle is finally over. Pill desperately searches for the guard and finds him alive. He survives, and everyone is relieved. In the end, the city is rebuilt. The witch is invited to stay and teach magic to the children. Roland becomes a good ruler and even opens an orphanage so that children like Pill will always have a home. And with that, the movie comes to an end.